Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and welcome back to hashtag Decan Walk 2023. We are in Pisces 2, Decan 2. We've been in it for a few days now. I've just been late to the party, getting things going here. And we're about to be in Decan 3, which is why I filmed Pisces 1 last night and 2 now. So, we have Pisces here, and it started March, does it say March 8th? No. March 1st through the 10th. Today is the 7th, so I've got a couple days left. But looks like the 9 of Cups is the card equivalent to this Decan. Pisces is a mutable sign, just like Virgo. And look, if you notice, they're right across from each other. I'm a Virgo. That's why I said that. I pulled from this deck. Oh my gosh. They're all upside down too, I think. Yeah. So this deck I got on, somebody asked in the last video. I came in a velvet pouch. I got on Amazon. At the time I got it, it was $8. The pouch stretches out into this spread, and then it's a perfect little pouch here. These cards are indie quality, but it just says Tarot Cards How To for Beginners is the name of the deck. It comes with this purple gilding, and they are literally, they have the shimmy. They're indie quality. This deck, I've been using it this whole year for the Decan Walk. It's barely got any thing going on with the gilding. I mean, it's held up well. And it's a beautiful deck. I just found it's an RWS. It just has the Decans on it and some other symbols and the astrology signs and the planets and all that. And then there's some different coloring in some of it. But I freaking love this deck. Anyway, so we have the 9 of Cups as our Decan card for this Decan, which is the Wish card, which I've been reading this whole year, T. Susan Chang's 36 Secrets, about the Decans, and I read today, the information on the current Pisces Decan, and the deeper I dive into Pisces, because it's exactly across from Virgo on the zodiac sign, apparently we are exact opposites, and I know a lot of people that's a Pisces, and I don't get along with any of them. Well, there's a couple I get along with because they're coworkers. I had to I'm friends with one, but it's almost like it's a surface level thing because I can't get too deep with them. And I'm not saying that about all Pisces, just the Pisces I know. And I know quite a few. But I don't really, like, most of them are family members. So I have to kind of know them and like them and stuff, I guess. It's just weird to me because I've never really gotten along with Pisces, and yet it's my exact opposite. And the more I dive into the Decans, the more I'm like, we have more in common than I thought. Maybe that's why we're exact opposites, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm resisting. If that makes any sense. So as we know with the previous Decan, the Pisces is the moon card in tarot, which I find interesting because I love me a good moon. Full moon, my cat keeps trying to bite me. Quit. Full moon, all moons, I love it. I love taking a moonlit walk at night, sometimes, when, in the summer, of course. Winter's it's too cold. And we have, I feel like I'm just rambling. It's Fishes for Wishes. Fishes and Wishes is the name of this chapter. But this is Jupiter in Pisces. And Jupiter, as we know from previous Deacons is the Wheel of Fortune, and it was upside down. The Wheel of Fortune, which I find interesting because the Wheel of Fortune is my card of the year for 2024. And I just find it interesting that that's what we're the next to the last Decan ending on, kind of, is the card that I'm focusing on for the year, which is just makes everything all the more interesting and confusing because, again, it's Pisces. And I'm not saying anything bad about Pisces. I just never, I'm not at odds with Pisces. I'm just not, we don't always see eye to eye. And it's confusing because I thought I knew everything there was to know about Pisces, and then I entered the Decan, and then I started reading the books, and then I started delving into the cards, and I'm like, wait a minute, we have more in common than I thought. And so now I'm reevaluating, and it's confusing me. If that makes any sense. But, as you know, I also been using the Journey of the Sacred Bee, by, oh my god, it's an indie deck. This is the Thoth version by Kelly Burton. Took me a minute. And I had these cards out. Did I take them? I did take them out already. I went looking through the deck and I already took them out. Because it's a Thoth based deck. I've been showing these cards as well. So here we have the Wheel of Fortune, and then we have the Jupiter symbol there, and then the Hebrew letters. We have the Nine of Cups. Happiness is the card, the keyword for this card, which T. Susan Chang delves into hardcore in the book. So, happiness was a big word for this specific Decan, which I just find, I mean, it is the wish card. So, it's almost like, and she does say it in the book, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it if you're drawing that specific card, the Nine of Cups. And then we have the Moon, which is Pisces, which we've already seen. Let's look at the book and see if I circled anything in the book to read. It says 9 cups, polished and golden, pose atop a draped display, which is the RWS version. Looking for all the world like the candles on a birthday cake. Go ahead, blow them out, and make a wish. We have arrived at last at the famous card of wishes. Something magical is about to happen. Though, as always in magic, the casual mechanism is shrouded from view. The Knight of Cups is the Lord of happiness. For what is happier than the moment when one believes one's fondest wish is about to be fulfilled? Happier, you could even say, than the fulfillment itself, for in the anticipation lies much of the sweetness. I thought that was interesting. And then it talks about Jupiter, or the wheel, here. Later on, it says, if Jupiter is the wheel, what properties of the wheel arise in Jupiter? Deacons, we first raise the question, is your moment in the sun, in your moment in the sun, 6 of Wands, Leo 2, reflecting on it again, I can't help feeling that each of the 5 jovial minions has a providential quality. And then it goes into each one of the cards. The 9 of Swords, Jupiter and Gemini, 1. The dignity is determined. The wheel property, all are bound to the wheel. And the metaphorical lesson, you must submit to fate. Now, 6 of Wands is Jupiter, Leo 2. The wheel property, the top of the wheel. And the mechanism, or metaphorical lesson, is everyone has a turn at the top. And then 6 of Swords, Jupiter, Leo 3, the center of the wheel. Equilibrium exists in the eye of the hurricane. 2 of Disc, Jupiter, Capricorn 1, Fate, or Fall. Wheel property, the rotation of the wheel. And then the metaphysical lesson, the only constant is change. And then the 9 of Cups is Jupiter, Pisces 2, rulership, the direction of the wheel, and the metaphorical lesson to prosper, align your desires with fate. So we have the wish card with what people usually deem as the fate card. And then the moon. So it's almost like the moon may reveal things that maybe your desires or your wishes to you. But then there's, to me, almost like people are like, oh, I believe in fate, or I don't believe in fate, I believe in chance. This is almost a combination of the two here, where we have the wishes and dreams, right? And then we have fate stepping in. And it may not always align together, which I find interesting in tarot, because your wishes and dreams could be one thing, but fate has other ideas, and fate to me is always going to win. So I find that quite fascinating in this specific Decan. And of course, again, I'm facing the moon card that I'm just like, I love you, but, and it makes sense. The more I delve into the Decans, the more I find out about the moon and how it correlates to Pisces. And I'm like, I get it, but then why do I love the moon so much? Maybe I love Pisces and I just don't know it. Interesting. So I'm going to read you the poem at the end of the Decan. And she talks about fishing a lot in this chapter. Of course, it's fishes and wishes. And it talks about how the fisherman is more apt to the game of chance when he throws his pole in the water than a farmer is. And I was like, interesting. Because you're more hoping against hope, or wishing that you're going to catch the big one, right? When most of the time you don't. Especially if you're an avid fisher. I've fished my whole life. So you're not always going to catch the big one. More times than not, you're not catching anything. Unless you're at a stock pond. So, interesting. This is it's called Cloud Fishing by Phyllis Levine. Phyllis Levine. To fish from a cloud in the sky, you must find a comfortable spot. Spend a day looking down, patiently clear-sighted. Peer at your ceiling, where a light dangles hook and line. Could be slipping through. Under the hull of a boat, a fish will see things this way. Looking up while swimming by, a wavering pale's reflection catching its eye. What will you catch? With what sort of bait? Take care or you'll catch yourself, a fish might say. As inescapable skeins of shadow scatter a net over the face of the deep. So that is the poem. And then I'm combining, because we're almost in Decan 3, I'm combining the spread that Marlena Teresa did for Pisces 2 with this video. So this is talking about the Decan and the spread. And I've already done the spread, and I'm using my Siren Tarot. I just haven't looked at the cards. They're here. I'm using the Siren Tarot. It's a Marseille deck, but I'm reading it as an RWS deck. So here we got let's move these guys out of the way. I'm really tired. Sorry. So, this is card 1 and then so forth. There's 4 cards. And this is for Pisces too. Jupiter in Pisces, the 9 of Cups. So for card 1 is what I wish for. And I got the 6 of Cups. Interesting. So I don't know if you guys remember, but a long while back, I've talked about the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups, when I learned tarot, I learned on the Tarot Illuminati. That 6 of Cups freaked me out. I felt there was a pedophile situation happening in the card. Which if you look at the card, it's creepy. There's 2 kids playing, and then in the background, it's probably a guard or something like that, but he looks like a creepy creeper creeping on 2 kids. It very much put me off of that card for a long time. It took me a long time to get back into realizing that it's past memory possibly popping up. And so when I wish for the 6 of Cups, it makes sense because there's a lot of my childhood that I would like to rewrite if I could. I can't because what's done is done. But I had a very tumultuous childhood. And so, and I was literally just thinking this yesterday. I was like, yeah, if there's anything that I could change, it would be the bad parts of my childhood. But at the same time, if I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't be who I am today. So, is it a trade-off? Who knows? But that's interesting that that's the card that pops up when I was literally just talking about this sort of thing. About childhood memories and the backlash from that. So, I find it interesting that that is the first card that popped up for what I wish for. Number 2, happiness that was. Happiness that was. Is it freaking 6? Yep, that's the 6 of Wands. 6 of Wands is a celebration. In a typical RWS, it's somebody going through, it's like they're having their own parade or whatever. Which I find interesting because there were times in my past that it was all about celebrating me. So, interesting. Number 3, happiness that is. And we got the Fool. I've had the Fool come up a lot lately. A lot. And it's almost like you have this happiness of not an imbecile, which is the word I, for some reason, just used, but that of a child, like a more childlike, and that ties into the first card, the thing that I wish for but the happiness that is this childlike, not innocence, but mannerisms, because you don't want to be taken so seriously. I'm a very serious person, and I like to, and this could be another way to look at the Fool. I like to joke around and stuff at work because, or in certain situations, just because I am such a serious person. 99% of my life is spent worrying about one thing or another. And so, there are times that I kind of try to break away from that and become kind of like the Fool, where I'm not a fool, but I'm more playful, and lighthearted. And I think that's why, because I've had so much seriousness in my life that it's made me such a serious person that sometimes I need a break from that. And so I kind of go the opposite direction. And if that makes sense, let me know in the comments. But that makes total sense for the happiness that is currently. And then number 4, the happiness that will be. And we got the freaking Wheel of Fortune. Are you freaking kidding? The wheel is always forever changing and turning. And like I just read, there's different directionalities of the wheel. You can't always be on top, but you can't always be on bottom either. So because the wheel is always turning, you will have your day. And I just find it interesting that is the spread we're in, or the Decan we're in is, has the Wheel of Fortune. And then I drew the Wheel of Fortune for the future. And that's my card of the year. So I feel like that's just a triple threat there. So that is my Pisces Decan too. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good night. Bye.